अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वेलकम टू संडे ब्रंच विद लुबना। मैं हूं लुबना और एक बार फिर हाजिर हूं आप लोगों के साथ। Thank you so very much for watching TV1. We know you have plenty of choices and you choose TV1, so thank you so very much for that. And of course, I want to thank each and every one of you for the great love and support you have given my show. And of course, you know, this show, what I always try doing is bringing people out who have made some positive changes in the community, people that you don't know about or people you should know about, because that is what is important. And as you can see, obviously I am wearing pink today, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I feel this is my duty, my job to talk about this and bring awareness out to our community, to the men and women out there. And breast cancer is the most common cancer among women, one of the deadliest. So that is something I do want to start off at, and I do want to give out the number for our studio. It is 855-886-6387, extension 4. And of course, we welcome your comments, your suggestions, your thoughts. Even if you want to talk to the guest on our panel right now, we can definitely get you to them. And of course, call the number. There's also our email that you see on the screen. So I have a screen, baby, note all the information. Anyway, let's now introduce the guest for today. The first guest I have is Dr. Alan Rodney, who is a board-certified oncology physician. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good. And how are you doing? Good.
I'm doing great.
Okay, great. And the second guest we have is Dr. Visha Lakshmi Bachu, who is a board-certified internal medicine physician. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
And how are you doing today?
Fine.
Okay, great. And, you know, like I said, this is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I want to thank both of you for coming out. And we'll just start off with you, Dr. Rodney. Obviously, you know, we see billboards about mammograms, we hear about mammograms. What I wanted to ask you is that what are the different types of mammograms out there? And I know it's a very big question I'm asking you, but what can you tell us about that?
So mammograms are ways that radiologists or professionals that take images of the breast can look at screening for breast cancer. In addition to what a physician would do in their office, there's a standard conventional mammogram, which is film-based. Modern technology has surpassed that. We now do digital mammograms almost universally, because they have much better ability to both detect breast cancers and help prevent some of the false positives that we know some women will have.
Right. And I know that I've heard a lot about 3D imaging.
Yes.
Does it really help the doctor trigger more in detail? I mean, is there a difference getting the traditional mammogram or a 3D?
Right. So 3D is a form of a type of digital mammogram, but here we have a moving X-ray, and what that does is create the space in 3D that you can see different layer by layer slices or sections through the breast, so you can detect exactly where something is. So as you draw something on a paper, it's 2D, but if you were able to have something in your hand and hold it, the whole of it inside of your hand would be 3D. Right. And in that way you can detect exactly where things are. Right. It also decreases the false positives. Right. So it decreases those callbacks.
Okay. I mean, it's amazing how much medicine has advanced. Let me ask you another question. I know you're an oncologist and you see many patients with cancer. Do you think it's important to have the support of family and friends? Because people watching right now, and not just in our community, in many communities, they think, okay, this person has this disease, so, you know, let them go. They're going to the doctor by themselves. Do you think it's important to have the support of family and friends?
Right. I always encourage my patients to bring somebody with them, because ultimately it is a significant diagnosis that really is hard for people to fully process and really have the emotional support through the discussion. Right. There's some technical talk, but we certainly need someone to help process that and help write down notes. Right. And having someone with you, I think, makes all the difference, from just coming to the visit, sitting down and feeling comfortable, having your person that you have as a confidant or someone who you feel confidence in, helping you make decisions.
Of course. And, this might be a strange question, but you see so many patients, but in your opinion, And I know you just explained how it kind of helps out, but have you seen a patient that comes with the family support or friend support do better compared to someone who comes by themselves? Do you see a big difference in it, or you think,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there again are so many roles that
Okay.
that person plays, whether family, friend, you know, the encouragement throughout the process,
Okay.
the building of confidence, all these things, friends and family play such an important role.
They do.
Even transportation, you know, as we talk
Just
about,
simple things.
yeah, as we talk about just the most simple things, you need to have someone who can help you through that journey.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to you more. And Dr. Bachu, I want to talk to you now. And, you know, we'll start, again, this show is more targeted for breast cancer awareness, obviously. Let me ask you, why is it important to go for a mammogram, and at what age?
Mammogram is one of the most important screening modality for breast cancer. So this mammogram detects breast cancer at least 2 to 3 years before a lump could be noticed.
Right.
So, and once it's detected and treated, the survival rates are very high.
Right.
So that's the reason why the screening for breast cancer with a mammogram is really important. And when it comes to the age, different societies recommend different ages for screening.
Right.
But most of the times, the screening should start at the age of 40 years.
At the age of
At the age of 40 years, and then they go every 1 or 2 years based on the patient preference, based on the PCPs. But most of the time it's at 40 years, and ideally screening every year until the age of 75.
Okay. And the other question that comes to my mind is that especially, you know, people who have a history of breast cancer, the mom, the sister, the aunt, do you think it's like basically saving their life if they get an early screening done?
Yeah, the risk of breast cancer is doubled if the first degree relative is diagnosed with breast cancer. And say suppose there is a first degree relative diagnosed with breast cancer, the risk is twice higher.
Right.
If 2 first degree relatives of 2 of the family members are diagnosed, the risk is 3 times more or 4 times more. So the risk doubles as a number of first degree relatives or number of family members are diagnosed. And the risk is even more if they are diagnosed at an early age. Early age means below 50 years. So that is the reason why family history of breast cancer is very important. And
Of course. And do you think it's more prevalent in our South Asian community, or you think it's...
Once upon a time, 3 decades prior, South Asians are considered to be lower risk for breast cancer.
Right.
But in the recent years, in the past decade or past several years, South Asians have the same risk of breast cancer as the other people.
Right.
The reason being their lifestyle, changing their lifestyle, environmental factors, and most of them migrate and they adopt the culture of the country they migrated. So that is what is changing the incidence of breast cancer in the South Asians. So they are no longer considered at low risk for breast cancer.
Right, even that's gone up. And I think especially, you know, and I know again in other communities also, but I think in the South Asian community, the woman, she's like the engine of the car, right? She's taking care of the kids, she's taking care of the parents, taking care of the husband, everyone, or just taking care of herself. But what happens is ladies forget to take care of themselves. Why it's important to schedule it. Because if it's a kid's dentist appointment, they're going to go. If it's the husband's appointment, reminding him, but they kind of put that on the back burner. So you think it's important to kind of, you know, put yourself first, especially at something like this. This is one of the deadliest cancers that is going on right now. And the earlier the screen, the better it is, right?
Yeah, the earlier the screening, the better. And especially the survival once it's diagnosed is great. And the earlier the diagnosis, the better the outcome and the better quality of life.
Right.
So it's always wise to go for screenings, especially breast cancer being one of the deadliest cancer. And I think going for screening at an appropriate age is
Right,
very important.
Because people think, oh, you know what, when there's a problem, when they feel alarmed, they're like, okay, now we have to go. And then it's like, you know what, you should have been doing this. So, you know, this message is for our viewers out there that, you know, it's important to take care of yourself. And, you know, this is something, you know, people think, oh, you know, if I had gone earlier, then this would have changed. And I think this is a message for even the wives, even the husbands, you know,
Everyone.
you tell your wife to go. I mean, this is something saving your life. I mean, once age 40, schedule it. I mean, now everybody has a smartphone, right? They can schedule that in. But people think, no, you know what, it's not important. Or when something happens, we'll see. So, of course, you know, it's such an important discussion to have. And
Yes.
starting from going to the internal medicine doctor, to going to a radiologist, to going to an oncologist, it's a very constant, and it's a fight. It's really a battle. I mean, now that you see they're bringing so many awareness things out there. I mean, you can buy so many things in pink now. I mean, they're trying to help this thing out. Even when you buy something at a store, they say, well, do you want to donate, you know, $5, $10? I mean, try saying yes to those things. Every little penny would help. What do you guys think about that? Every little would help.
I think everyone has a role, you know, whether it's a supporter in general, supporter of a person, or as you said, a role model.
Right.
You know, women are great role models for their daughters, their sons, their whole families, and so that's a very important position.
Of course. And what do you think? Same thing?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the awareness has to be increased because of the because of the deadly nature of this cancer.
Of course.
If not diagnosed and not treated.
Of course. All right. Well, definitely we'll talk more. We got to take a short break. आप लोग कहीं मत जाइएगा. We'll be right back after these messages.